We'd like to formally welcome everyone who's now joining us to the webinar Jam, the first webinar of LJMB, our contribution to these tough times.
I just wanted to thank
Louis and his credible team of
LJMB.
We just had an incredible day today.
wonderful experience.
Great experience.
Successful event with Louis.
An outstanding session.
Priceless day.
Wow, this is 2 thumbs up.
Can't imagine anyone else doing it for us.
Thank you so much, Louis and team.
Hopefully, babalik ka na. Salamat.
I'm your host and lecturer. My name is Nelson. I'm a fellow chemical engineer. And I also write books. I also speak, I train, and also coach people, particularly business leaders with 30 years of leadership experience. Now, we're going to the lecture proper. Today, we're going to explore this topic. Explore, then answer. How to respond better to questions. Okay, so imagine with me a dialogue between a parent and a tutor. The parent has a problem. His young boy has problem in grade school. He's not doing well in math. And so the parent asked a tutor for help. And the parent said to the tutor, how many drills will I give my son so that he will learn? And the tutor gave it some thought. And he said to the parent, what makes you think drills are the answer? And the parent was taken aback. Well, isn't it that the more practice you give to my son, the better he'll be? And the tutor said, well, let me check. And when he talked to the kid, he found out that the boy's problem is not practice. The boy was not familiar. He didn't understand the equations. And therefore, through patient explanation and creative teaching, the tutor was able to help the kid to do math, and he got better grades. Can you imagine if the tutor did what the parent wanted, just drill after drill after drill, but the poor kid doesn't know about the equation? Torture, diba? And that's where now we have this particular mindset that when somebody asks you a question, don't answer right away. Explore what is behind that question. And that's where we now have the mindset of explore, then answer, ETA. Instead of answering the question right away, first explore what is behind the question. And why would we do that? Well, there are 3 benefits. 1, it shows curiosity and empathy. Because when people ask you a question and you answer right away, okay, the deal is done. But if you take the extra effort, extra time, extra active listening, you'll come across as somebody who's curious. You want to understand the other person, and you can even identify with the concern behind the question. Therefore, the person asking you the question, your boss maybe, your peer, maybe even your significant other, will feel heard and understood. And the relationship will become better. Second, why explore then answer? You will be able to surface assumptions. Have you ever had the situation where you had a problem solving exercise and then the solution did not work out because there are hidden assumptions which turn out to be false? And that's why, as in the case of the tutor and the parent, the tutor surfaced the assumption of the parent. The assumption was the more practice, the higher the grade. And it turned out to be a fatal assumption because, as I said, the kid's problem is not practice, it's to understand the equations. When you do that, you are saving on misunderstanding, you're saving mistakes, you are saving wrong solutions, you're saving time and effort. Okay, now, third benefit of the ETA, you're seeking better solutions. You're seeking better answers because instead of a knee-jerk response, you'll be able to open the discussion, explore options, explore understanding, and therefore you'll be able to arrive in a greater, broader perspective and perhaps even get to better solutions. All right, so this is one of my favorite metaphors. It's an iceberg. How many percent of an iceberg is above the water? Can anybody put in a chat box? Anybody tell me how many percent of an iceberg is above the ocean surface? Okay, 30%. Yeah, 30%. Jenny said 30, 10. Okay, all right. Some other people, it is 10% at least. Okay, about 10%. Now, what happens? The question is the 10% you see above the water surface. The 90% which you do not see will be the ones driving the question. It can be either belief, desire, or experience. Let's get to them one by one later on. So here is a fun way to exercise this concept. I'd like to invite you in a chat box wherein I'm going to show you this question and you try to surmise what is the belief behind the question. Exercise number 1, belief. Somebody comes up to you and says, sales are down. How can we train our agents to close more deals? Put in a chat box, what do you think is the hidden assumption or belief behind the question? Sales are down. How can we train our agents to close more deals? Okay. Anybody in the chat box? Sales are down. What will be the hidden belief behind that? Okay. All right. Now remember, there's no right or wrong answers at this point. All right. Hidden in that belief is the need for training. The guy asking the question is assuming that when sales are down, the agents are incompetent, unable to sell, unable to close deals. Are the agents trained and are the items saleable or in good condition? Thank you very much, Jenny Lynn. And that's where now the belief is going to be challenged. What makes you say that the training is the answer? And as Jenny Lynn would say, are the items saleable or in good condition? Tama, correct, Jenny Lynn. That it can be a problem of pricing, can be a problem of quality, not necessarily the agents. And so that shows you an idea how to respond to a question like that. Okay, second round. And this is something which is very interesting because somebody said there's no right or wrong answer. Suppose your significant other says, does this dress or clothing make me look fat? Okay, now, this is a bit more interesting. Can you guess what is the desire behind the question? Does this shirt, does this dress make me look stout, porky, fat, obese? Okay, so what is the desire behind that? Okay. All right. Now, this is one tip, by the way. Somebody maybe let's say your spouse, boyfriend, or girlfriend may ask you that, and the temptation is to give a white lie. Oh, you look fantastic. Okay, Stephanie said spouse should answer no, then says she looks pretty. Okay, now this is the better way to do it. Okay, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm simply saying it's better. What you do is this: you surmise the desire, and perhaps at the back of that question is the desire to look good, to look presentable, to look fabulous, maybe. And so, what may be the case is that when the person asks you, does this make me look fat? You explore the question. I'm curious, what makes this, why do you say that this dress will make me look fat? And then the person may say, oh, because I think that the buttons are not connecting well. I feel a certain tightness in the clothing. I cannot move much. And then your next question may be, oh, so therefore, being comfortable is important for you. Then the person asking the question is, no, actually, I don't feel good with it. I don't feel that I look good. Do you think I look good? Goes back to the question. And then you can say the honest answer. A marriage podcast said something like this: when you have to give a difficult answer, first make the other person feel heard. And somebody said the ground rule is this: 3 responses to make the person feel heard, then the honest truth. So, does this make me look fat? I'm curious, why does this make you look fat? Number 2, because I feel uncomfortable. And so, oh, wait, I'm listening to you now. So comfort is better for you? No, actually, because I want to feel good. Okay, so I really understand that you want to feel good. And then here comes the bombshell, but in a gentle way. To be honest, okay, you do look a little bit tight there, but you still look good. Maybe what we can do is to go to the rest of your wardrobe and pick something that's better looking for you. Then that will be a good answer. Okay, you feel comfortable. If not, try other options. That's what Jenilyn said. Thank you very much, Jenilyn. We have the same mindset together. Okay, now, last, surmise the experience. And this is something for sales, maybe even, let's say, for production people. Okay, you said this product will solve my problem, Mr. Salesperson. Why should I believe you? In the manufacturing floor, you said this instrument will solve the production problem. Why should I believe you? So anybody can put in the chat box, what do you think is the experience behind this question? This is a very interesting case as well. Very common also. Anybody? Okay, so people are loving the spouse question. Huh? Okay, all right. Okay, what do you think is the reason the guy, the potential customer said, Mr. Salesperson, you said this product will solve my problem. Why should I believe you? Okay. Now, okay, I'm seeing something in the chat box. Yes. Okay, maybe you can explain that you have tried the product and share the experience. Very good. Thank you very much, Jenilyn, especially if the experience was negative. So perhaps when you're selling this product and the customer resists, and he or she tells you, why should I believe you? I'm curious. What makes you say that? And then hopefully the customer will say something. I tried a similar product before. It did not work. And then that's where you come in. I have this true story. I used to be a subscriber of Reader's Digest. And there was a time that my subscription was not delivered. So I decided to cancel. A year later, a salesperson for Reader's Digest went up to me and said, would you like to subscribe? And I asked him, why should I buy from you? Sharp salesperson says, what's wrong? And I told him my experience. I had a subscription. The last 4 issues were not delivered. And instead of arguing with me or being defensive, the salesperson said, okay, let me fix your problem. He got my contact details. And then lo and behold, after some time, the salesperson arranged for the 4 back issues to be delivered at my doorstep. And he asked me for another chance. So I gave him that chance. I subscribed, and lo and behold, problem solved. No late, no missing deliveries. And that's why when you have an objection, a resistance, you may want to find out what went wrong before. Okay. Now, how do we explore this particular mindset? Okay. For example, when you give me the question, what are the steps to do? The first one is to do a safe opening. A safe opening, because when somebody asks you a question and you respond with a question, you may come across as, being insensitive or not so competent to answer. So you do a little safe thing. You will say something like, that's a good question. You're affirming the guy. I'm curious, and you're exhibiting curiosity. You're exhibiting, I want to learn more. Here's another great tip. I want to give you a good answer. And of course, who would not object? Okay, I'll give you time, Mr. Nelson, to give me a good answer. Okay. Now, the next step would be a permission check. Would you mind telling me what's behind the question? What's your experience? Okay, what do you think is going on? May I ask you to share? Can you help me understand? Okay. Last but not least, use the what inquiry. Notice a good question begins with a what, not a why or how. The what expands more possibilities for exploration. It will also tend to make it safe. Instead of saying, why did you say that? Instead of that, you say, what made you say that? Notice how safer it feels. So what gave rise to that question? What made you ask that? What is behind that question? Or another one, what made you conclude so-and-so, so-and-so? Okay. Now, what will happen is this. As we close the session, yes, this will be a quick one. Try the ETA model. Try explore, then answer. Then you find out what's the BDE, belief, desire, experience. And therefore, what will happen? You'll be known for your wisdom, empathy, and effectiveness. That's it for today. You will be pleased to know that if you missed an LJB Talk of Mine before, I have a YouTube channel where I have all those videos there. It's at Nelson TD, at Nelson TD. Please subscribe to that YouTube channel. Get a lot more learning, not just for career, but also on personal life, purpose, and also for spirituality. Let's continue the conversation. For more resources, follow me at LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. As I said, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can contact me at nelsontd.com at gmail.com. Visit my website also, nelsontd.com, for more info, more resources, and also I have a blog wherein it's going to be helpful for you. If you also want to have a coaching session with me, you can get in touch with us, okay, through this cell phone, and also book a 15-minute discovery call. The discovery call is essentially to explore what kind of coaching would you need, and we hammer out a program for you. And then LJMB will get in touch with you with a proposal.